So in this video, I'm going to talk about how men could get used for pleasure. I'm going to talk about why some women may engage in short-term sex, right? So when I say short-term sex, I mean a sexual relationship that is casual. It's mostly focused on sexual pleasure, and there's no commitment, and there's little to no emotional connection, right? So it is what we would call one night stand, hooking up, or friends with benefits in a way, or sometimes people say booty calls or whatever. Basically just having sex without any formal commitment, right? So that's short-term sex. And over the centuries, women have faced judgment and scorn when they express themselves sexually, even today. Being called a slut and bitch if you apparently violate the expectations of your society, or you violate your cultural norms, or if you're you're in a religion, you could get called a slut or bitch according to how you behave, or how you dress, or how you express yourself sexually. Just expressing yourself sexually is looked down upon if you're a woman. And women are usually shamed for having premarital sex, for having casual sex, for just being promiscuous. And yeah, basically women get humiliated and degraded just for expressing themselves sexually. Even today, mostly today is on social media. So for women, if you dress a particular way, or you have sexual feelings, or you're exploring or displaying your sexuality, it is like looked down upon in society. And just thinking about sex or just discussing sexual matters, people, mostly men, could look down upon you. Just maybe a woman might have more than one sexual partner, or she's exploring sexual fantasies, or she just dress sexy, or she just to have a physical feature that is appealing to the opposite sex. You could be looked at as a slut or a bitch, which is really weird. Or if you just enjoy nudity, or you have sexual desires, this could cause you to be looked as a whore or something like that in society. So with all of that shaming, slut shaming or whatever, it could cause sexual repression. And sexual repression happens when there is restrictive ideas about sex, or there's restrictive attitudes around sex, and there are effects of sexual repression. And sexual repression happens when people, talking about women mostly, prevent themselves from exploring and expressing their sexual desires or their sexual identity, right? You're not able to express your sexuality in a fulfilling way, right? And this could cause effects. And some of the effects of sexual repression is like difficulty sleeping, body tension, difficulty with orgasm, pain during sex, anxiety related to sex. You don't want to express your sexual desires. You feel guilty around your sexual desires. And sexual repression could also cause you to just lack interest in sex and not getting pleasure from sex. And you could suffer from anxiety, insomnia, depression, and all of these things by repressing your sexual desires. And with all of that being said, some women still choose to express their sexuality, and some women are not ashamed, or they don't feel guilty to express themselves or explore their sexuality, right? So I'm going to just list some ways where women express their sexuality or you could say use men to for pleasure or to explore sex. So while I'm talking all of these things, I just need to say that I'm not saying or telling women what to do, right? Um, I'm not saying to women, go explore sex, go experiment with sex. I'm not like telling you to do that. Most of my videos is just like a conversation to share insights, to share how I think about things, to share different ways of thinking about different issues, right? And we're talking about sex. So if you're a woman and you decide to explore sex and experiment with sex, use protection and be safe, right? This is just a discussion, conversation. So I'm just going to talk about reasons why women would engage in short-term sex. Or we could say use men for pleasure, right? Women use men for pleasure too. And one of the first reasons why a woman would engage in short-term sex is to get a commitment, right? Hoping that it will make the man commit to her. So she might decide to be a booty call, and she might think that would eventually lead to a long-term relationship, right? They may believe that hooking up and being friends with benefits or just dating casually may influence the man to commit and to be in a long-term relationship. So that is one reason why women could engage in short-term sex. Or how I would discuss this, how women, what I'm really talking about is how, like, why women would engage in short-term sex and how men get used for pleasure. So I'm talking to men and women in this video, whoever is watching this. So how men could get used for pleasure, basically. Why women engage in short-term sex is because another reason they were drinking and they were using drugs. And maybe one night she just, for example, she just went out with her friends to get an excuse to have sex, especially if she was already horny or already in her mind looking for a hookup and just basically looking for a one night stand. So she may want to just maybe just get over boredom or relieve stress or relax and just enjoy the night out with her friends, and she got drunk or maybe she got a little tipsy and start to have like sexual risk, which could happen easily because she's like under the influence. So women might just engage in short-term sex because they're using drugs, they're drinking alcohol, and they actually plan and to have a one night stand and to just hook up just for the fun of it, just to relieve stress and relax, right? Another way men could just get used for pleasure is that the woman is looking to fulfill her sexual desires and pleasure, right? Just looking for a good time. And sometimes we say like men do this and women do this. And what I'm saying is like we should kind of stop saying men do this and women do this, and like separating the genders and saying that women mostly do this specific act and men do this specific act. I would say, how I talk is that human beings, both men and women. So maybe she's just looking for a good time, and you as a man, you're not even attractive, you're not hot, but you just want to enjoy the act with you, just for enjoyment and fun, just to distress and relax, to fulfill her desires. She has sexual desires and she wants to fulfill them, and you don't have to be attractive for her to do that. So she just wants to experience pleasure, she just wants a release, she just wants an orgasm, and just like not have the stress of being in a relationship. And she's doing this act with you because it's fun, it feels good, it's pleasurable. She was horny, it's just want to experience physical pleasure. So another reason why women like have short-term sex is just to experience, like just for experimentation, just exploring their sexual desires. And for example, she might just heard that the man, you're good in bed, you're a man watching this, you're good in bed, so she just would like to experience that. Or she heard that your penis was big and she want to experience that. Or you're popular, maybe you're like you're a popular athlete, or you're a popular artist, or like you're famous, or you're well known for whatever, maybe you're a popular DJ or whatever, and it's just to experiment with a person who is famous. Just to have sex with somebody who might be muscular, or they look like they have stamina, or they look healthy, or they have a swag, and the woman might just want to experience having sex with somebody who just like they look healthy and they look fit. Or maybe you're from a different race, you're from a different country, and maybe you just want to explore people from a different country, have sex with people who's from a different race, who might be more open-minded, or who might do freaky things to her or whatever, just to experiment, just to explore what it's like to have sex with somebody from a different culture, right? So another reason she might want to explore or experiment is because she heard that you're rich, or you have this high status job, or and you know, so it's not necessarily what she's trying to get money out of the man, but it's just to experience having sex with a man who have a high status job, right? Or she just want, you're a bad boy, and bad boys are attractive, they are mysterious, they are adventurous, and they're more likely to engage in risky behaviors, and that could give her adrenaline rush, and that could be like intriguing to her. So even like being with a bad boy, maybe she thinks that, you know, she'll feel protected. You know, bad boys are always protective of their partner, especially their partner, their family. They're always protective. They always would fight for their partner, or stand up for their family or whatever, and that is like intriguing, right? Bad boys are, most of them are masculine, and she probably is just looking for a fling, and no better person to look for a fling with a bad boy, because they look confident, they show dominance, maybe they show like it's so, maybe she would feel like it's okay to reveal her dark side or her wild side with a bad boy, and then bad boy is looking like dominant. It's sexy and it's attractive, so she's just looking to unlock her wild side, and you're a bad boy and you're attractive, and she just want to experience what it's like to have sex with a bad boy, right? So another reason for just experimenting and just exploring with sex would be she's trying, just really just trying to have one night stand for the first time, or just trying to have a fling for the first time, just exploring to see what it's like to have a one night stand. Or she just wants to try something new sexually. Maybe she was in a relationship, and I'm thinking back about my video, why men get cheated on. She wants sexual variety, she wants sexual experience, so she wants to engage in something new. Maybe she wants to have sex in public, or she just wants to fulfill her fantasies, and she's just experimenting and exploring with someone new, right? So that's another reason why women might just have short-term sex, or just use men for pleasure. So another reason why women might engage in short-term sex is for sexual liberation and to feel free. So just to explore their sexuality without ties, without obligations, without being a commitment. See what it's like to have sex with multiple partners. And I would say, if you're doing this, you're thinking about doing this, please be safe and use protection. And I'm not telling women to go explore sex, to go on a sexual liberation experience. If it's that you want to do, I'm just saying to be safe and to use protection and be cautious. Okay, so the next thing is just, I was talking about sexual liberation and feeling free. Is at some point you could, growing up, you could get tired of feeling shame, feeling guilty about expressing yourself sexually. Maybe if you just want to challenge the social norms that society has put on women and just want to feel sexual freedom. So she would go and have short-term sex or use men for pleasure. Maybe sometimes it's not even to actually do the act, is just to talk about sex, just to engage in different conversations, talking about past sexual experience, talking about sexual desires, just talking about sexual fantasies, right? Maybe she just, sex is a taboo topic. It's still taboo up until today, especially if you're coming from a very like a religious background, or you are extremely religious. You grew up in church or whatever. Sex would be taboo to talk about. Some religious organizations have inhibited sex education, and you grew up and now it just feel awkward and uncomfortable to talk about sex. So talking about sex. So she might just want to liberate herself and talk about sex, talk about sexual desires, and talk about her interest in sex. And talking about sex and sexual needs and your interests, can be looked down upon. You can feel like you're dirty or you're wrong, especially coming from a religious background, and she just wants to liberate herself. She just wants to remove the guilt and shame and judgment that comes with expressing sexual needs, desires, fantasies, wanting to be free of sexual inhibitions that society created, and she just chooses to explore these desires. And that is how men could be used for pleasure, and that is why women could just engage in short-term sex to feel liberated and free. Right, so I would just share our experience. Me and a young lady was talking. We were talking about guys, and she was expressing like women lust too. So she was just expressing her sexual fantasy or sexual desires, and she was talking about it. I know she would not. She's not talking about it in a way that she's going to engage with it, and like she was just expressing her sexual desires, or she was just expressing that she lust for another man. And me and her, we were talking, and some other guys were around, and they were like listening. All of us were having a conversation, and then as she was expressing her sexual fantasy or her lust or sexual desires, just talking for fun, a guy was there and he was like, "Well, do you know him? Well, did you ever talk to him? Do you know if he's a good person? Do you know his personality? Do you all ever talked? You guys ever went on a date?" It was just like judgment from this guy, and I was like shocked, and we were just engaging in conversation, just talking about sexual desires and lusting, and just for fun, just talking about sex for fun, and fantasies. And you could tell like the guy was really judgmental, and talking about sex and guys around I could see that if you just talk about sexual fantasy, or you talk about sex, or you talk about past sexual experience, or anything, you talk about lusting, or you talk about just sex in general, some guys, they look at you like you're a bitch, or you're a whore, or they look at you like they judge you, they try to predict that you have multiple sexual partners, or they think you're a bitch. It's horrible, right? So that's just an experience that I had. Anyway, continuing on. Some women just engage in short-term sex to feel desired and to feel attractive, right? Women want to feel good about themselves. We want to feel desired. We want to feel wanted by men. And she may feel broken down by life. Anything could happen in life. You could have career matters, you could have financial difficulty, you could have family issues, you could have relationship problems with work or workplace issues, family matters, just going through a crisis or something, someone died and you just need a release. And women might just engage in short-term sex just to get a release or just to feel feminine. Maybe sometimes women, you're walking and you could feel like a man walking every day, and you forget that you're a woman, and you forget your femininity, and you forget about sexual desires and feeling sexy and feeling attractive and feeling wanted. So woman might just engage in short-term sex to feel feminine and to feel sexy, to feel wanted, right? Or maybe another example, you could just come out of a toxic relationship where you were treated poorly as a woman, taken for granted, used, lied to, cheated, manipulated. Many things could have happened. And maybe, she's single and she just meet this cool guy that treat her well, make her smile, make her laugh, and he showed that he care, or he just seemed interested in her, and he's polite, he listens to her, he have good conversation, he's charming, and he just show respect towards her. It's like a breath of fresh air, because he's like nothing like her ex or past relationship. And this cool guy that she just met, he could make her feel attractive and make her feel sexy with all the things that I just mentioned. And it's a breath of fresh air, and she just easily give it up. That is how women could just engage in short-term sex just to feel attractive. And in addition, he might be handsome and he might be attractive, and she's drinking, and at the same time, and with all of this, she just choose to give it up and to just have one night stand or some short-term sexual experience, right? So coming out of a toxic relationship, you could maybe, especially if you're not fully healed from it, you could be in a very vulnerable state of mind as a woman and feeling low in life, lacking self-esteem, self-confidence, low self-worth from all the experiences you had like in childhood, that combined with love trauma from the past, and just in a weak mind. And eventually she just give it up and have a one night stand. So she's just probably coming out of some dysfunctional relationship where she's not healed from the past and was mistreated, and meet someone in one night or in a few weeks, and they're a breath of fresh air, and she just has sex with them early, right? This man, she might not, she wouldn't mind dating him. He seems like a good person. She could just be going with the flow and see where things are going, and eventually just had sex at some point. And she does not want to be in a long-term relationship, so she just like have sex, casual sex, and just continuing on about feeling desired and about wanting to feel attractive. It could play out in many ways. Talking about the dysfunctional relationship you could have been in as a woman. Sometimes you think you're healed from love trauma. You think you've gotten over the past. You think you've gotten over your ex-past relationship, and you start dating, and you may have a strong feeling to feel desired, to feel wanted, to feel attractive. Right, so then you might meet someone and you eventually have sex with them, and then you realize that you're not ready for an intimate relationship with someone, with that person as yet. So then, as a woman, you have sex with this guy, you're not healed from the past, you might just start to distance yourself, right? So you have the short-term sex because you're like in a vulnerable mind state, and then after that you realize that you're not ready and you pull back. So she could distance herself, and then the man could think that he was used for sex, or something is wrong with him, or he's bad in bed, or whatever he could think. And he could think that, what I'm saying, he could think that he was just used for this one time. And even though it could have been an amazing sexual experience, she just might not want to continue to have sex with you, because sex creates feelings, especially for women. It creates emotions and attachment, and it's a way to bond. So the woman might just not want to engage in sexual activity with you ever again. And that is how women could engage in short-term sex, right? She might just not want to discuss her past, not want to discuss the whole situation, that what happened in the past. She might just decide to act cold and to act distant, to avoid the hard conversation, to avoid the confrontation. And then people eventually just stop talking and they stop dating, and then that's how men might think something is wrong with them, or they were bad in bed, or they got used, whatever. So that's how things just play out in real life, People have different issues. Sometimes men and women, they're in a current relationship and there are issues, and sometimes they're off and then they're on with their partner. Sometimes they're official and sometimes they're not official. They break up and then they make up over and over again, on again, and then they off again in their relationship. And some people, you meet them, both men and women, not being specific, human being, say that if they meet someone, if they're in the off again, they're not official, or they're on a break, or they're off, they could engage with other people, they could meet other people, and they could tell that person that they attracted to that, oh, it's a complicated situation. And if you're in a complicated situation, just getting off topic a little, and you're off and you're on and you're official and you're not official, and you break up and you make up, and it's you're doing this off and on, it's continuous. Obviously most of the time it's not going to work out, and you're just wasting your time. So in these complicated situations, she might just be off, or whoever might just be off, and then she's just start engaging with you, and you guys eventually had sex at a moment, and then at that same moment she has sex with you, she might be on again with her boyfriend and just had sex with you just one time, and then she's official again with her boyfriend or her man or whatever, and they're back together, and she just ghosts you and she just has sex with you once. So that is how things play out in reality, right? How women could just have short-term sex, right? Many things could be happening. Another reason, or another way how men could get used for pleasure, or women engage in short-term sex, is because they just had a spontaneous urge and she just wanted to have sex for no reason. There's no explanation why she did it. She just went out, maybe she's not looking to have sex, but out of nowhere she got triggered and just want to engage and have sex with the man. So maybe she needs someone, and it's their charisma and the way that the man talk, maybe sweet talk or whatever, and he created this sexual arousal in her, and she just have sex with him because she just had this spontaneous urge without no reason. Maybe his looks, maybe he looked attractive, the way he moved sparked something in her, and especially if she's already drinking and alcohol is involved, it makes just things easier for her to just give in to what spontaneous urge might happen within her body. She just suddenly feel like having a one night stand, or just even if he's not attractive, or she might not like the man, and it's just a spontaneous urge, just for no reason, just had sex with them. It's just in the heat of the moment, and she just got carried away, and she had sex. The opportunity just presented itself. She's single, not looking for anything, not even looking for a hookup, not looking for a fling. Just the opportunity presented itself and had sex. Maybe they have been flirting. Maybe she met someone. They have been flirting for a while, or talking online, and eventually they meet up in person, and they have previous sexual conversation, and eventually they meet up and they just had sex that night because she had this spontaneous urge. Had no romantic intentions to have sex with a man, just wanted to do it for no reason. I always say, like, human beings complicated, and I mean, like, if she meets up with her girlfriends and then they start talking about sex and talking about one night stand or sexual experience, and one friend might ask, so why did you have sex with him? He's not attractive, he doesn't have charisma, he's not mysterious, he's whatever. And the friend might ask, so why you have sex with him? And then you have no explanation, just the spontaneous urge that occurred. It was not planned. She didn't plan on this happening, just did it with no explanation. And that is one reason why women just engage in short-term sex, right? Another reason why is there's no long-term obligation involved. She just wants to do it. She doesn't like you. Yes, women could have sex with men they don't like. It's not men alone. She doesn't like you. You're not attractive. She would never be with you long term. You're not desirable. You don't have game. You don't have riz, or whatever they call it today. She would never consider you to be your boyfriend, to be your man, to whatever. You just show up constantly. You're consistent in her life. And you're just persistent, trying to move things forward. And at some point, she just has sex with you one time, maybe one or two times. She have no obligation, there's no condition, and she just chooses to have sex with you. She could just use the sex to relax, use this sex to sleep better, or just maybe she have a period to ease menstrual cramps, or to ease tension, or boredom. She's just bored, have sex with you one or two times, or there's a lack of options, there's nobody else to have sex with, you're the only man showing up in her DMs, there's no other option, and she just has sex with you like one or two times. She's not in a relationship, she's not trying to have a relationship, she's single, and she's free to do whatever she wants, and she has sex with you as a man, and that's it. No long-term obligations involved, just free to do whatever, lack of options, bored, all of these things. Just as men do, women do the same, right? Another reason why, I think it's the last one I have, why women could just engage in short-term sex, is because she's good friends with this guy, and she trusts him, She knows this guy she have as a friend. It could start off platonic, and then it turns sexual, and it could be sexual, whatever. And then she knows, like, he would not kiss and tell, She knows he's not gossipy. Oh my God, some men gossipy, and some men, they lose the chance of having sex because they kiss and tell, and they talk too much, and they gossip. Sometimes women might be attracted to a man. They might want to have short-term sex. They might want to hook up. They might want to just have some casual dating going on, but then they know the guy gossipy. They know he will kiss and tell. They know he will tell his friends about the sexual experience. They know he might think that she's a bitch, or call her a slut or whore or something. They know, like, if she have sex with him, he might say tell his friends, yeah, she's for the streets or whatever, you know. So she knows that you're not gossipy, and you wouldn't call her bitch, you wouldn't call her slut behind her back if she has sex with you occasionally here and there. She knows that you will respect her and that you will continue to be good friends after without judgment. So she has sex with you 1 or 2 times. You have a close bond and she trusts you and she feels comfortable with having sex with you here and there occasionally with no obligation, no condition, right? And that is how women engage in short-term sex, and that is how men get used for pleasure. Yeah, there are other reasons and many reasons, you know. And one reason could be, as a woman, you want, as a human being, you want emotional closeness and you want intimacy. And you might not want a relationship, but then closeness and having intimacy and having an emotional bond with someone else is like a need. But you're so traumatized by the past, you don't want to get hurt again, you don't want to be in a relationship, but you desire this emotional closeness, and sex obviously creates emotional closeness. It's intimate, it causes people to bond even one time, right? And she just engage in short-term sex, casual sex, or just have friends with benefits. And we know, especially for women, friends with benefits create feelings, emotions, you get attached, you start to bond. So they might just engage in that just to feel emotional closeness with someone and not have a commitment, right? Sometimes it's just to have an orgasm, just to achieve orgasm. Maybe I'm always referring to my why is your fault to get horn. You should check that out, especially if you're a man, talking about reasons why women cheat on men. And one of the first reasons why is because they need sexual variety, and they need sexual variety. They need spontaneity. They need to feel pleasure and be fulfilled with sex. So maybe she was in a relationship and this man close-minded, and we always think that you automatically think that men are adventurous and they open to different sexual activities. And no, not all men. Some men are boring. Some men just like one position all the time. Some men don't like you to role play or dress up. Some men are just like close-minded, and maybe she's out of that relationship and she just want to experience orgasm and just adventure and excitement with sex, right? She just want to try some new technique. She just want to try some new techniques. She want to try some different positions. She wants to fulfill her fantasies, right? And she just engage in short-term sex. Want to have sex with different people to get experience. She want to improve her sexual skills. She's curious about her sexual abilities. She's wondering, what can I do? What am I good at in sex? And she just prefers to have multiple partners to gain skills and to be curious about what she's good at. And if you're watching this and you want to explore, I have to repeat, if you want to explore sex, or you want to experiment with sex, man or woman, please be safe, use protection, right? And maybe she just want to engage sexually with a man because he have a good sense of humor. He's fun. He's respectful, he's polite, he's caring, and it's so refreshing to meet somebody who have respect, who like caring, know to have conversation, make you laugh, and just make her want to have sex with you. Right? Your personality, you seem confident, you're intelligent, you know how to have a conversation, you know a lot about the sun issue, She learned things about you. There's a word for this. When you're attracted to intelligent people. I can't remember right now. Shucks. Maybe sapiosexual, I think. But anyways, woman could she could have a special occasion. It's her birthday. She graduated from something, passes exam, promoted, whatever occasion that's special to her, and she just want to celebrate and have sex. Yeah, special occasion. Just have like a hookup here and there, just to celebrate whatever happened, you know. Or maybe another reason it could be like you went out on a date and the restaurant is so romantic, you know, the lights are low, there's nice soft music. You could hear the conversation, you could hear what the person is saying, the music is low, and maybe the man touched her in a sexual way and just made her feel sexy, and then she just had sex with him after the date, just randomly, without reason, right? So, wrapping up this video, never intended for it to be this long. Sex creates feelings, and it makes you bond with the other person, especially as a woman, and you get attached to the man. Like, you could have you as a woman, you could engage with a man sexually, you're intimate with a man. He's not a good person, he's not attractive, he's not good for you, he's dysfunctional, he could be like not polite, rough around the edges, and you have sex with them. You would not consider dating them, you do not see yourself with them, you would never be with them. But if you have sex with them, could even be one time, or you know, you're communicating with them, you have sex with them one time and it's enjoyable, and it was amazing, you just might not want to have sex with them ever again, because you know you're gonna bond with them and feel attached to them, right? And it's like, if you're a man and you just present yourself well, you have smooth talk, you have game, and you just show that you could give pleasure, and you show that you could create a new sexual experience, that would just increase the chance of women wanting to have short-term sex with you, right? If you're a man, you just look attractive, you pay good attention to your hygiene, you know how to flirt, you know how to make a woman feel special and attractive and desirable, and then you have, like, you're with somewhere, you're drinking alcohol, you show that you're a good lover, and you offer new exciting sexual experience, you have a high chance of her wanting to have sex with you short term, right? She could choose you to have a short term sex because you look attractive, you know how to flirt, you have a good conversation, you're charming, you're seductive, you're mesmerizing. The more chance you have of her wanting to, like, be with you for something quick, if that's what she's looking for at the moment. All about timing sometimes, you know, it's not planned, she's just looking for pleasure and, like, excitement and exploration, right? Some women just looking for a short-term hot steamy sexual experience to liberate themselves. It's not always to be in a relationship with you, wanting to be with you, you know. And even if the experience, as I would repeat, because some men get confused, like, women could have sex with you, it was amazing, it was a really nice experience, and just doesn't want to have sex with you ever again. She just don't want to develop feelings for you and just move on. So that's just a quick conversation about sex, just a different way to look at short-term sex, especially for men, just to show that we should not say men do this and women do that with relationship and sex, you know. It's just another perspective, right? If you're a woman, you explore sex, you experiment. I don't think it's a bad thing. Nothing it's like, it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it's just a thing. This is just a conversation to just show how we could think of things in a different way, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. You could do that. You could subscribe if you want to. You could leave a comment below, and see you in the next video.